twist on the highlights. I'm just in it for just a highlight drift in the highlights. Just a high feel living in the highlight drift. Just a highlight twist on the highlights.
Hi, honeys. Welcome to Soul of Honey. It's Olivia. Welcome to Olivia's vlog at Soul of Honey. Today, I have my favorite person, Jem Star, with us today. Jem, please say something to the camera.
What's up? What's up?
Okay, so Jem and we've been friends for a very long time, and we share a common passion, which is childhood trauma, child negligence, anything that has to relate to the betterment of children. So today we wanted to talk about what identifying those things look like and what good parenting looks like. So if you're ready, Jem, we're ready to get started.
I am ready for sure.
Okay. So today, I think that we should start with, first of all, we are not professionals or therapists or psychologists. And if you are a person that is a victim or a parent that does seek help or is seeking help, we will mention at some point in this video where to get those resources from. Okay. We are doing this strictly based on opinions and some of experiences and some of what we've observed. Okay. All right. So let's get started. How do you identify childhood trauma? What would you say is a way to identify trauma, Jen?
Well, I think one of the main things is when you know your kids, you know the patterns and routines, you know how they behave, what triggers them if you pay attention. So a good way to notice it is when you see extreme behavior changes, especially if you aren't around them all the time, school, they're around certain people, being able to basically analyze the changes that they show in different circumstances around different people. That's a good way to see trauma. But like I said, pay attention. Know your children first. Always know your kids. Pay attention and know who they're around and know the capacity of what's going on, when they're around other people.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that's a very good point. I think that if normally your child is a happy child who plays all day and is jovial, and all of a sudden your child isn't cooperative, they're not doing that well in school, they refuse to talk, especially if a certain person is around. They complain about stomach pain, they're getting nightmares now, they have trouble sleeping. They don't, when you shower them, they don't really want you to touch them anymore. These are things that you can look to, for child abuse and childhood trauma. It's definitely a sign to say, hey, something's off.
Right.
I agree completely. When you've identified, do you feel like childhood trauma or childhood negligence can be avoided? Like, do you think that there's something that a parent could have done to avoid it? Do you think that the environment could have stopped it? I mean, what do you think? Can we avoid childhood trauma?
I think there are certain things that you can do to lower the probability of it happening. Certain precautions you can take.
Okay.
But it all comes down to, like I said, knowing the people, knowing personalities, knowing behavior, and also making kids comfortable enough to communicate with you as well. So sometimes kids are shamed too often until, oh, don't speak up, I don't want to hear it. And then they become very introverted and they internalize all that trauma and pain. And when that happens, they're now afraid to tell you, the person who's supposed to be protecting them, what's going on. So I think there are ways to prevent it, and ways to minimize how much of it happens.
Okay. Well, to touch on that, I think that I agree completely. Children are, needless to say, they're harmless. They don't have the best self-defense mechanisms. They're new to the world. They don't know what's going on.
Right.
And I have a very strong belief that good parenting is a key way to avoid childhood trauma. If you're that parent that gives your 300% on a daily basis, I mean, when you go to bed, you are exhausted, you have nothing else to do but sleep, you're doing something right. If you do you know how you know you're doing a good job as a parent when your kid randomly comes up to you and hugs you, or tell you how much they love you,
Yeah.
or tell you what a good day they had, or mom, or express it even if it's bad emotion, like mommy, yesterday you yelled at me, or mommy, why did you yell at me? They feel like they can come to you even when you're angry. That's good parenting. you know
Yes.
I
Yes.
agree completely. I have to agree. And I think that there are also signs of not so good parenting. But before we get into that, can we identify what are some ways or some things that we can stop so that we can be good parents? Like, what are some things that you think contributes to childhood trauma that we as parents can stop so that trauma doesn't happen to begin with?
Okay, well, first of all, stop the notion that children are to be seen and not heard. That's a really destructive and dysfunctional mentality to have. And we also
Agreed.
have to break a lot of generational curses, a lot of
Mhm.
these traditional thoughts that were taught about children
Yeah.
being lesser than, and like, stop that. Stop that. Children
Yeah.
are important. The way they express themselves are very important. The way the confidence depends on that. Comfortability levels. These things will also make them more comfortable to tell you when something's going on. So
Agreed.
yeah, yeah.
Agreed. Being African, I mean, I grew up in a household where um, thinking you were cute was was also being conceited and therefore a taboo. Like, how dare you say outwardly and out loud that you're beautiful or you're cute or you're this or you're that. It was shown as being prideful. It was shown as feeling like you were better than somebody. So I literally don't remember a time where I got complimented, like unless like I had like new clothes on or materialistic things that added on, but never like, or maybe I don't remember, but I don't come from a background where, I am adored. Like, oh, you're so beautiful as a child. And you grow up, and my father wasn't in the home either. So, you grow up feeling insecure.
Hmm.
You grow up feeling like you're not beautiful. And it sounds so simple, but that also traumatized me because I
Yes.
became this adult that didn't believe when people told me I was beautiful. I thought that they were trying to get something from me. Or the adult that once you tell me, I feel like you love me, let's be together.
Hmm.
Do you
Hmm.
understand? Because
Hmm.
the lack thereof when I was a child. Do you understand? So I think that trauma can be identified in so many different ways. I mean, it might not have meant anything to you as a child to get compliment, but maybe you never got hugs and that bothered you. Because I think that people's love language, oh my God, this is such a diverse topic because people's love language, whether they realize it or not, comes from the things they didn't really get as
Yes, it
a child.
develops. Yes, you're right.
And
You're
it's
right about that.
telling
You're right
you,
about that.
it's telling you because one of mine is, I'll share just one. One of mine is um, um, what is it when somebody tells you how good you're doing? What they had a word for it in love language. Like, I'm the type of person, if I give 300%, so I like to hear, and I know that you see me doing it, but I want to hear you tell me that I'm doing a good job. Like, oh, Olivia, you're doing such a good job, no
Yeah.
matter how small it is, because I feel like I'm putting my all into it. Am I doing this right? Is it okay? Because I come from an upbringing where I never felt I was good enough. My dad was never in the home, and I wondered if I was good enough, like maybe I can be a better child than he'll say, and I never knew why my dad didn't love me. So now I constantly need to be reassured. There we go, reassurance. I
Reassurance. Yeah.
constantly need to be reassured that I'm doing it right. I constantly need to be reassured that I'm beautiful. You need to tell me. And not only do you need to tell me, I need to feel it.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? Can you relate to that? Is there
Oh
something?
yeah. Yeah. 100%. I think that those extremes are created at the time, because even with me, I wasn't raised in a very affectionate environment with I love
Mm-hmm,
yous and hugs.
mm-hmm,
I didn't hear I
mm-hmm.
love you at all. But so that makes me feel, when I hear it from a girlfriend or something, like, it means everything to me.
Yes.
But if I don't feel like that, even if they might, sometimes I might take small things and exaggerate it because I haven't felt that growing up. So it makes me paranoid and it makes me
Agreed.
overly sensitive.
Agreed.
So those things do play a
Overly
big role.
available too.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Which is why
oh
too
my
it's
God.
important. It's why it's important too to realize every small detail counts in raising your children. You aren't raising toys that they're gonna grow up to be adults, you know, in society.
Oh, you hit it right on the nail there.
You know,
Oh,
like every
they're
detail
not gonna be
counts.
forever.
Yeah.
It's like I said the other day, and a lot of people are in my inbox, and I want to talk about that. The other day, I mentioned I was talking about how parents neglect their children and go on vacation. Now, I am in no way or shape saying don't go on vacation as a parent, but if you have a younger child who still cannot shower themselves, who still cannot use the microwave themselves, please try and go on vacation with them. Do a staycation if that's more convenient, if that's cheaper, because people don't recognize that children need a break too.
Mm-hmm.
During school, they have cousins
Yeah.
constantly yanking and hitting. They're fighting all the time. They're arguing all the time. They're playing all the time. They're studying all the time. I mean, the requirements for being a child is thicker than the requirements for being an adult. Here you have a perfect human being who's new to the world, and they have so much to catch up on as far as learning, and not just learning school academics. I'm talking about learning how things work in the world, what people are good people, what people are bad people. How does the microwave work? The
Mm-hmm.
fire is going to burn you. Water can drown you. I mean, there's a lot on the itinerary for a child. Their brain mass, they need a break too. They need to decompress.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? So whenever you feel like you need a break, guess who needs a break right with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Your kids. Your kids.
Yeah. Okay, a
Your
lot of
kids.
times it's so simple. A lot of times I'm stepping out. I don't want to mention, where I live, Jem, but where I live now, because I live here, I have to drive. I've learned to drive, and now when I step out, I have the most amazing partner who is just like, take a break, go do an errand, because that's also my love language. I like alone time. I like personal space,
Yeah.
because I put so much out in the world that I like to take some time for just Olivia. So I'll go to Target and do a simple grocery and come back, and that for me is like therapy. I mean, when I come back from Target, I feel like I just got a massage, a deep tissue massage. I mean, I feel amazing. So sometimes when I'm going, my daughter's like asleep or watching TV in her room. So when I come back, she runs to the door and she's like, "Mommy, oh my God, I thought I lost you. Where did you go?" And I'm like, "No, Phoebe, you didn't lose me. I just went to the store." And she's like, "You went to the store? I want to go to the store. I don't want to be here. I need a break." And I've been talking to my daughter for a long time. I don't do baby talk, so she articulates very well. So I'm like, "You need a break? Okay, fine. We can go on a walk. Can you just give mommy a little bit so I can get dinner ready? Then we could go on a walk." "No, mommy, I want to go in the car." "Okay, we can drive, no problem." And so I would just go to Target and have her walk around a bit. I mean, she'll ask for everything she sees, but I'm not buying it. What I look
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
daughter?
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
buying it. But just for her to get out, just so it's first of all, it's showing that her opinion matters.
Yes,
It's showing
yes.
that her emotions are valid. I
You respect
validate
her.
her.
You
I
respect her as well.
respect her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I talk when you see me and my daughter talking, you would think it's another adult. Not because she acts as an adult, she acts as a child. However, I've given room for her to be comfortable. I've shown her that I respect her. And it's like any relationship. I really think that parenting and children, it's like any relationship. It's like treat your child as if your partner, okay? How you constantly want your partner to love you, because every day you wake up in your relationship, you have to choose your partner. So think of it that way. Every day you wake up, you have to choose your children. It's them over you because they need you more than you need yourself. They can't fend for
Yes.
themselves. So every day you wake up is a continuous relationship. "Hey, honey, did you have? I mean, I talk to this girl every single day. "Hey, honey, how was your sleep? Did you like it?" Sometimes she's a little cranky. She doesn't want to talk because I'm a little cranky when I don't want to talk sometimes. So I'm like, "All right, no problem." But then I'm like, okay, mommy, I see that you don't really want to talk. That's okay. Mommy's not upset with you. Sometimes mommy doesn't want to talk. That's fine. So I'm just gonna go to the kitchen. I'm not ignoring you. If you need anything, let me know, okay? Then you see that 5 minutes later she'll come, mommy. I think I think I just want a hug. I woke up and you weren't laying next to me. Where did you go? And you people don't understand how simple and how much input you'll get back from just asking, how did you sleep?
Yes.
You get so much
Yes.
back from
Yes.
them, you
Yes.
know. So I think it's very important. I mean, what are your tools on what good parenting looks like?
Well, you pretty much hit on a lot, spot on actually. That communication, that open communication and respect is so crucial. That's so crucial because children a lot of times feel like they're outcasts, like they're a nuisance.
Yeah.
Your own children are an extension of you, so they shouldn't feel like a nuisance. And I think that always telling them that you love them, you care, you know, having them free enough to express their fears or opinions. Also, when you punish them, when you correct them, make sure that you're doing it to where they understand why you're speaking to them as well. That's also important. So
That's
they
a
don't
big
feel
one.
it's a huge one because a lot of these
That's a
kids,
big one.
yeah, at that age, they don't see things the way we
No,
do. So you have
no.
to make it clear, you know, or try your best to. And and children will understand as well. Children are very
Mm-hmm.
understanding. They're very
Yes.
understanding. As long as
They
you keep
might
that
not agree
open,
with you, but they understand.
they understand.
They
They
understand.
understand. And also too, like don't make it to where they love you out of love, not out of fear. So yes,
Oh,
and I'm saying this because a lot of our parents and grandparents, I don't care who likes this, did a lot of things wrong. Y'all did a lot of things wrong. I'm sorry.
they had the game messed up.
Completely messed up. Like y'all idea of raising kids well is beating them all the time and telling them to do
Mm-hmm.
what to do and have them as slaves. No, that's not good parenting.
Not slaves.
that's that's how it is. So
Oh my
like
God.
honestly, hearing you speak the way that you speak and hearing the passion you have, it gives me hope because you don't see a lot of parents with this kind of mentality anymore. You don't see it. You don't see it. Everybody's so focused on themselves, their lives, their own happiness. The kids are like a second thought. You had these kids. These
Mm,
kids didn't ask to be here. And
mm.
and you mentioned vacation too. Like
Damn.
the whole vacation thing, that's fine for parents who are actually putting in the work actively. Okay, I get that. But a lot of these people want vacations and breaks every damn weekend when they're
Oh
already at
my
the club.
God.
The
When did
grandma's
they
already with the
vacate?
kids.
Oh,
Like
I
us. Yeah.
actively know people
Yeah.
that are clubbing every single weekend. And I'm not talking about Friday. I'm talking Friday there's an event,
Yeah, oh man.
Saturday there's an event, Sunday there's an event. Shit, maybe Monday there'll be an event, you know? And I just feel like, is your car parked outside with the kid inside of it? And you have like the windows down a little bit so they can get air? Because that is the only way. Let me know so I can call 911. Because you know what, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're doing, but this ain't it. I don't know what you're doing,
Facts.
but this
Facts.
ain't it. Okay.
Facts.
Um, my daughter and my son will forever be the most important thing on the agenda. And I mean daily. These kids, and they know too, because sometimes when I'm like, sweetie, I have to do something right now. You have to watch your TV or you have to learn your ABC right now. Mommy has to focus. Mommy, you have to focus. But mommy, when are we gonna hang out? And I'm like, but we hang out. We hung out we just hung out. I know, mommy, but we hang out all the time. Why not right now? And then I
Right.
think that good parenting is also be real to your kids. Like, listen, I tell
Yes.
my daughter all the time, listen to me. I love playing with you, and it's fun and it's wonderful. But every time and every day is not playtime. Okay. Sometimes we're going to learn Okay, right now it's learning time. Sometimes we have to be quiet because your little brother is sleeping. Because consideration is part of adulthood, right? So maybe you should teach a child that so that you don't raise kids that are not considerate of their
Yes.
partners, not
Yes.
considerate of themselves, not considerate of other people. Let's be considerate and let's teach our kids to be accountable while we're at it, because
Yes.
that's really a pet peeve for me. Somebody does something to me, I'm gonna touch lightly on it. Somebody does something to me, I don't retaliate. I tell you, you did this to me, I don't like it. And you repeat and you repeat and you repeat, and eventually I'm going to retaliate. But then you're going to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm attacking you. You have to be accountable.
Yeah.
You called for this to happen. There are
Yeah.
consequences in the world.
To
When
everything.
mommy
Yeah.
sends you to school and you're not listening to the teacher, don't you dare come home and tell me you want to watch Disney Channel, because you know what you're going to watch? Your ABC. Everything you didn't listen at school today, you're going to do that right now. Be accountable. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why you're not watching TV today.
Yes.
And I don't care that you don't like it. And you know what? I've told my daughter, you're not watching TV at this hour. You can watch TV after 2 hours passes by. Now she's not familiar with time, so I bring the clock on my phone, and I say, you see this long one right here? When it moves over here, then you can watch TV again, okay? And she's like, Mommy, I don't like it when you do that. Well, I don't like it when you don't listen. So maybe we
Hmm.
listen a little bit. We take accountability. We're responsible for what we're responsible for, and mommy doesn't have to put you on TV timeout.
I'm glad you
That's
mentioned that, because the way that's a great way of doing it without being abusive. So a lot of people might hear this conversation and like, oh, kids and being friendly. No, we aren't saying don't be parents. We're saying don't be abusive. Yes,
thank
you
you.
can still discipline your children. You can still have that balance, but don't be abusive and keep that open line of communication and understanding. So the
And I
example you
love
prove
when
is
you said
great.
that.
Yeah,
I love when you
yeah,
said that because if we're being completely honest, sometimes kids make you want to scream.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is what I do because I'll be honest with you. I don't know, as long as you're not abusing your kids. We're not saying don't be a parent. Just to repeat what Jen said, because listen to this: your kid is the one person that will make you consider offing your own top. Like, you know what? You know something? I think I've done enough. I think I've done my best. And I'm ready to go, Lord. Just take me. You got it. It's cool. And there's been so many moments where I have yelled and I'm like, Phoebe, first of all, I'm so sorry that mommy let her emotions. You have to enunciate. It's so important that you speak clearly your
Hmm.
faults, because you're not perfect because you're older. You're
Hmm.
not perfect because you're mommy. You're not perfect because you're daddy. We all fall short. Nobody is perfect. We're not asking for perfect parenting. We're asking for you to try your absolute best. So, Phoebe, I sometimes I cry and then I go to her and I say, Phoebe, you know, because you don't want to turn this into manipulation. I'm considering her emotions. I don't get
Yeah,
to tell her I cried.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
also a form of abusing a child, manipulation. So Phoebe, mommy lost her cool. I didn't like that you did that, and it made me very angry because I repeated it to you multiple times. And I think that you should understand that mommy respects you, and mommy expects you to respect her back because mommy has earned respect from you, right? When you tell mommy you want something, does mommy do it for you? Doesn't mommy cook for you?
Right,
Mommy loves you, right? I give you hugs. When you don't feel good, I take care of you. Can mommy get the same respect back when mommy says don't do something?
right.
Can you please understand that mommy is not going to stop you from doing something if it's good for you? I just want you to be safe. So I'm just trying to make sure that you are okay. I'm only telling you to stop so that you're safe. If you're
Yeah.
not being safe, I have to stop you. And I'm sorry that means I have to yell sometimes, because sometimes I need you to act quicker than you
Hmm.
do, because I don't want you to get hurt.
Yes, yes.
And you know what she said? When I finish talking, she just stares at me. like, and it's a stare of like, wow, I didn't even, and it's like, and then I tell all the time, I don't need you to know. You didn't need to know because I know that you're not going to
Yes.
understand certain things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to know why I told you to stop. But I want you to understand that I am here for you. I'm here to make sure that you, Phoebe, are okay. So
Yeah.
don't worry. Mommy's got you. I'm gonna make sure you're okay. I lost my cool. I just came in here to say sorry. Um, I'm not saying it will repeat itself, but I'm going to try to calm down first and
Yes.
take a deep breath next time. Okay. And she's like, okay, mommy. But mommy, you yell at me. And I'm like, I know, that didn't feel good, right? So you have to try and listen to me because I just want you to be safe. If you're not going to be safe, I have to yell so you don't hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mommy, can I watch TV? You understand? And
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
that, it's over.
Yeah.
Good parenting also looks like taking a moment to acknowledge your child's feelings, you
Yes.
know, and also good parenting is understanding that you're not always going to be good at it.
Yes. Exactly. That's a great, great key point as well. That is a great gem in there. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
You are not going to be good at it all the time.
I
Is
agree.
there a time where you saw a parent that you know is a great parent lose their cool, and how did they handle it? Did you see it afterwards? What was the kid like?
Uh,
So you're like, which one? And then talk.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. Honestly, most people that I know, I don't see
Mhm.
them in those intimate moments where they,
Okay,
yes. So it's hard for me to really use that, you know.
okay. Another question. Have you watched a movie that you thought, wow, now that was good parenting? That's how you do parenting. Or have you seen a YouTuber, or I mean, do you have any experience? Have you seen anybody model good parenting in a way you've never seen for yourself before as a child? And so, wow, I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, there was a woman that I'm dating who
Okay.
the way that she handles her um kids,
Hmm.
it's really really nice to see. It's refreshing to see
Yes.
because you don't see that much. A lot that you see is abuse. You see abuse, you see domination, you see fear tactics, all that stuff. And also too, the one thing that I want to mention about
Yeah.
children is to
Yeah.
we have to make them we have to respect their boundaries that they have. Sometimes
Agreed.
a lot of parents let people around the kids aren't comfortable with being around. But it's like,
Agreed.
oh, you're the kid, so I don't care. That's how abuse happens. Kids sense things too. Kids can sense
Ooh,
things sometimes before you can. But
that
but
intuition.
absolutely. But sometimes we're so caught up in our own emotions and our own selfish needs and thoughts, we are completely blind
Yes.
to reality.
Yes.
To reality.
I, yes, I agree. I think that I like to think I always say to my boyfriend that kids are fresh. They're fresh, they're fresh out of heaven, fresh out of wherever they came from. So I feel like they are more centered with earth,
Yeah.
like they're centered, their chakras are
Yes.
perfectly aligned, whether you
Yeah.
want to believe it or not. They might not have the words to put it together for you, but sometimes my daughter, she's not shy at all. And around certain people, she's like hiding and ducking behind me, or like not in like a nice way. Like, kids play shy and smile behind you.
Yeah.
That's not what she does. She's ducking behind me, and I don't let nobody in my house, so I know she hasn't been molested.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's not that, but
Yeah.
you can just tell that the energy transfer that's happening is unauthentic. She doesn't like
Yes.
it. It feels like a facade for her. It doesn't feel right. And when we get back home, she'll ask like, "Mommy, who's that?" And I'll tell them. She'll be like, okay. Can I watch this thing? And then she goes about her business. And because kids, they have very short attention spans,
Yeah.
so it's happening right now and it's gone the next minute.
Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, is there anything you would like to add before we close the segment?
Yes. One thing that I want to say is that this is not about shaming parents
No,
or being perfect. It's about just
no,
being aware to make these corrections and just be more self-reflective of how you're parenting in order to be better parents and better people.
agreed.
Because it's not to attack anybody, but when your children are at stake, you can't take that lightly. So it's not about your feelings all the time. It's about their safety, their mental health. It's about how they're going to flourish into human beings as they get older. Once again, a lot of us know what trauma is. A lot of us have been through trauma. So we should be doing our best to protect others from experiencing the same thing, especially if you're a parent. And also to start holding people accountable, relatives, friends, whatever. If you're seeing things that don't fit and you can make a difference, step in and say something.
Agreed. Is that all for you, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, for trauma victims, for adults who have experienced trauma in their lifetime, or having a hard time battling it, need somebody to talk to, you can always go to safehelpline.org. They also have a toll-free number that you can call 24/7. That number is 877-995-5247. The website is also Safe Helpline. I'm sorry, safehelpline.org. And they even have a safehelproom.org where other people of abuse, trauma, parents who need help and guidance, they all kind of get in there. They have different rooms and discuss based on topic. Thank you for tuning into Soul of Honey. I always hope to enlighten and bring awareness, and I hope this video did exactly that. If you have questions, concerns, comments, please like, share, and write it down below. And we'll see you soon. Bye, honey.
Just a highlight twist on the